there are tons of rumors right now about Brandon Aiyuk being traded to different teams. He just requested a trade to get traded away from the San Francisco 49ers. So right now, we're going to rank some spots that he could go to, some good spots, some okay spots, and some bad spots. So, Dak, what's our first good spot?
Yeah, the top spot that jumps off to our minds at least is the Buffalo Bills. If you send them up there to Buffalo with Josh Allen, they've got Keon Coleman, Dalton Kincaid, who we like a lot, but Curtis Samuel, like not really established weapons there at all. Brandon Ayuk jumps in there. He's an established weapon. He's a very good wide receiver. He was wide receiver 14 last year with San Francisco. If you're with Josh Allen, there is no reason why he shouldn't be at least a top 10 wide receiver this season. It bumps up his dynasty value a lot. It bumps up his redraft value a lot. It's just a great situation. And you would imagine that he signs a long-term contract there as well to be with Josh Allen for many years to come. That would just be the absolute best landing spot. Very exciting. We'd love to see that happen.
Yeah, I think if he goes to the Bills, he could generally jump into like our A tier, which is like our Garrett Wilson, Puka Nakua, Amon Ra. He'd be at the bottom of that tier, I think. But I think that's where he would probably end up being if he goes to the Bills and signs a long term deal, because that is just like the best landing spot in the entire NFL.
Yeah.
So the other really good landing spot is San Francisco. He just stays there. Some people think like Ayuk, like there's too many targets in that field, but I just think like the system itself allows Ayuk to be just hyper efficient and just be the player that he is, and they almost get the maximum value out of him, I think. He had a really great year last year. I expect that to continue to happen as long as he is there. So not as good as the Bills, but still a really good landing spot would be to stay with the San Francisco 49ers. So what's our like okay landing spot?
An okay landing spot in the New England Patriots. Similar to the Bills, they don't have any established receivers there, but it's just overall a very worse landing spot. Drake May, rookie quarterback. We're not sure what he's going to look like. The O line isn't very good. They have no established play callers in New England. It's just a not great situation. It's not the worst because again, Brandon Aiyuk is going to be fed the ball. There's no one else in that offense to throw to, so he's going to get that volume, which we'll like to see. But touchdown upside, I'm not really sure. He'll have again long-term stability, so maybe if Drake May over time were to progress into a good quarterback, it works out better for Brandon Aiyuk.
Mhm.
But for now, just not really sure. But he'll get that volume.
Yeah, I think the main selling point here on the Patriots is the fact that we believe in Drake May to be a good NFL quarterback. And if you give him Brandon Ayuk, who we think probably a top 15 wide receiver in the NFL pretty easily, that's going to help both Drake May and Ayuk, right? They're going to be down in so many games. They're going to be chucking the ball. I think Ayuk, it's a teetering on good landing spot, the Patriots. The only downside is that it's Drake May, right? Drake May could be bad, and then Ayuk was in a terrible landing spot. It goes from good to bad real quick. So that's why it's mid. Going into the bad landing spots, we're going to have the Baltimore Ravens here. This would suck. This would be terrible. The Ravens just don't really throw the ball that much. And when they do, they tend to spread the ball out pretty evenly. And this would become a relatively crowded offense pretty quickly, right? You'd have Ayuk could be your alpha, but you also have Mark Andrews, who he gets his targets. He's always going to get his targets. And they have Zay Flowers as well, who we don't think is all that good, but some people think he is really, really good. So probably somewhere in between those two. And that would just be super crowded on an offense that already wants to just run the ball first. This would really hurt Ayuk's value. I think he would drop a couple spots in our rankings, maybe a whole tier. Um, and nothing against him, obviously, but just that landing spot, he's just not getting the ball as much as he needs to get the ball to be a reliable wide receiver one.
Yeah, so like Dalton said, Baltimore not a great landing spot for him. Another bad landing spot. We're staying in the AFC North, and that's the Pittsburgh Steelers. We do not want to see that happen. They bring in Russell Wilson this offseason and Justin Fields, so two not so great quarterbacks, especially Russ in the tail end of his career. Like he's just not very good anymore. They already have George Pickens there, who the Steelers I think like a lot, and they want to feed him. Then you bring in Brandon Ayuk, and I'm not really sure how that works. You saw last year Deontay Johnson and Pickens, when they were both healthy on the field, one of them would eat and the other one wouldn't get any targets. I think it'd probably be a similar situation with Brandon Ayuk there. And the Steelers are always going to be good enough to where they're not in the position to draft a
Mhm.
franchise quarterback. So you think Ayuk and Pickens both sign long-term deals, and we don't like that quarterback situation moving forward. Just not a conducive offense, especially with Arthur Smith. I think he's going to want to run the ball a lot. So again, just not a lot of targets to go around, not a lot of passing attempts, and the quarterback throwing the ball is not going to be very good. So we would not want Brandon Aiyuk going to Pittsburgh. Just keep him out of the AFC North entirely for us.
Yep. Go to the Bills. That would be very fun.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.